And Q's mom was looking at him how I was looking at him and how you probably looking at him like, what? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is another true crime episode. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright y'all, so before we get started, I just wanted to let y'all know that my oldest son is now in middle school and I am not okay. But other than that, we just gonna go ahead and jump right into today's case. And today we in Alabama, and today's case centers around a man named Lam Luong. And Lam was born in Vietnam in 1970, and it's nothing known about his childhood. The only thing that I could find was that he came over to the US in 1984, so that would have made him about 14 years old. And that's literally all the information that I have on him until about 2004 when he was 34 years old. And around this time, he was working in Bayou La Battery on a shrimp boat. And this is when he met a 20-year-old pregnant woman named Q Fan. Now, like I said, she was already pregnant when her and Lam met, but he didn't care. He liked Q, Q liked him, and so they started a relationship. And not too long after the two of them got together, Q gave birth to a little boy named Ryan Fan. And Ryan will become the oldest of the couple's 4 children. Because over the next 3 years, Lam and Q will end up having 3 more kids named Hannah, Lindsay, and Danny. But like I said, that was over the next 3 years. So let's take it back to 2005, just about a year after the couple meets. And if you are from the US or if you know anything about 2005 in the US, we all know that in August, Hurricane Katrina hit the southern region of the United States and caused and wreaked havoc on pretty much everything, mainly New Orleans, Louisiana. However, Alabama was one of the states that was affected by this hurricane, and it caused devastation in Alabama as well. And so the couple being affected by Hurricane Katrina ended up moving to Hinesville, Georgia. And it's here where they began to rebuild their lives. Q ended up finding a job in a nail salon, while at first Lam worked at a car wash, then ended up changing jobs and started working as a chef at a restaurant. It's also in Hinesville, Georgia, where Q would give birth to her other 3 children. And everything seemed to be going well until Lam either lost his job at the restaurant or he quit his job at the restaurant and was having a hard time finding work again. Now, obviously, Q wanted him to get another job. Now, he was probably telling Q that he was looking for jobs, but he just wasn't getting hired nowhere. But because he wasn't working, he would resort to asking Q for money. And at first, she was okay with this because she was like, okay, my man out here looking for a job. He just not getting hired nowhere. He looking, he trying. And I know he need money too, and I'm the only one working in the household. So she didn't have a problem giving him any money. But once she found out that he wasn't out here looking for no jobs, oh yeah, she had had enough. She was fine with giving him money when she thought he was looking for a job. However, she ended up finding out that Lamb had a whole girlfriend out here in these streets, and that the money that she was giving him was going to the girlfriend and booger sugar, you know, crack. And she was not here for it. And she said peace out. And in December of 2007, she packed up her and the kids and moved back to Alabama with her mom. Now, her original plan was to leave Lamb behind. But once again, that was not a part of Lamb's plans, and he headed back to Alabama with her. And once they moved back, they moved in with Q's mom. So it was Q, her mom, the kids, and Lamb. And if Q was hoping that things would get better once they moved back to Alabama, she was sadly mistaken, because nothing changed at all. Q would once again start working at a nail shop, and Lamb once again did not work at all. He wasn't even looking for a job, wasn't even pretending to look for a job at this point. He was staying out all night, still doing crack, and he still had a girlfriend. And now, instead of just asking Q for money, he would resort to asking Q's mom for money as well. And by January 2008, Q was fed up. She didn't want to deal with it no more. She didn't want to deal with Lamb. She was sick of him. So the 7th of January rolls around, and Q and Lamb get into an argument, which is nothing new. They always got into arguments like this. So Q wasn't thinking nothing of it, and she went to work as usual. And now this is where the events of today's case take place. So like I said, it's January 7th, 2008. Q and Lamb had just gotten into an argument, and then at around 8:30 a.m., Lamb took Hannah, Lindsay, and Danny and put them into the family van and left the house. Now, he wasn't gone very long before he returned and picked up Ryan as well. So now he got all 4 of the kids, he in the family van, and he drives about 15 to 20 minutes to the Dauphin Island Bridge. Now, this bridge is a bridge that connects mainland Alabama to Dauphin Island, Alabama, which I had no idea that Alabama had an island, but it does. And so from Mobile County to Dauphin Island, you have to cross a 3-mile bridge. And this is what the bridge looks like. So Lamb drives to the highest point of this bridge, and unfortunately, one by one, takes all 4 of his children out of the car and drops them from the top of the bridge. So after throwing each of his children over the bridge, Lam pretty much went about his day like nothing had happened. And at around 10 o'clock in the morning, he went to Q's job at the nail salon and got $31 from her. And he said that it was for gas for the van. However, it is believed that he actually ended up supporting his habit with that $31. But I don't think that was ever really confirmed. And after Lam left the nail salon, Q would end up calling him multiple times throughout the day, but she wasn't able to get a hold of him. So it's really unclear as to what he was doing between 10 and 5:30 when he returned home. And the only reason he came home at 5:30 when he did was because the van had ended up catching a flat and he needed it to get towed back to the house. So he get this van towed to the house, and once he go inside, Q's mom is looking at him like, "Sir, where's my grandchildren? You left the house with all 4 of them and you coming back with none of them. Where are my grandbabies at?" And Lam ended up telling Q's mom that he saw some woman named Kim and he gave the kids to Kim because she seemed as though she knew Q and her mom, and she offered, I guess, to take the kids, and he was just like, "Yeah, here, take them, have the children." And she just hadn't returned them home yet. And Q's mom was looking at him how I was looking at him and how you probably looking at him like, "Nigga, what?" Because she don't know no Kim. Now, maybe her daughter did know a lady named Kim, so she didn't too much panic at this point. But when Q got home at 7 o'clock and Lam told her the story that he told her mama about Kim, Q was like, "Oh no, I don't know nobody named Kim. We have to report my baby's missing because what the hell? Why would you just hand my babies to a random person that you don't know? That don't even, what?" So that night they went to the Bayou La Battery police station and they filed a missing persons report on all 4 of the kids. And this is when Lam told the story about Kim for the 3rd time. He told the police the same story that he told Q and her mom. And on the next day, January 8th, when the police interviewed Lam and Q again, Lam told them that if they took him to Biloxi, Mississippi, which was about an hour away from Bayou La Battery, that he would probably be able to find the kids. So they drive to Biloxi, Mississippi with Lam in tow, and they driving around Biloxi for about an hour before Lam is like, "You know what? I really don't know where to find the kids. I am so sorry." So they take him back to Bayou La Battery where they like, "Okay, your story don't make sense. What is actually going on?" And it was at this point where Lam actually confessed and told officers the truth. He told them that the morning prior, he took the kids to the Dauphin Island Bridge and threw them over. He even took them to the spot on the bridge and said they are in the water. And in Lam's formal admission, he said that his family made him do it because they looked down on him like he was nothing. He also said that he initially planned on taking himself out by jumping off the bridge after he had thrown the kids. However, he did not do it because he wanted to see his wife's face when he told her that he had killed the kids. Okay, and needless to say that after this admission, they arrested his ass. But while he was in jail, he would make a couple of phone calls to Q. And while he was on the phone with Q, this motherfucker had the nerve to laugh in her ear and tell her that they will never find the kids. But the joke was on him though, because a massive search effort was put into finding these babies, and over the next 2 weeks each child would be found. So the first baby was found on January 14th, and that was little baby Danny, and he was only 4 months old at the time. And he was found about 12.5 miles away in an isolated marshy area. And just 1 day later, on January 13th, his older brother Ryan, who was 3 years old, was found 16 miles away. The next child who was found was 1-year-old Lindsay, and she was found on January 15th in Mississippi, about 18 miles away. And finally, on January 20th, 2-year-old Hannah would be found floating in the Gulf of Mexico, 144 miles away, south of Venice, Louisiana. Now, upon the discovery of these bodies, they were each examined, and the cause of death for Ryan, Danny, and Lindsay was blunt force trauma and asphyxia due to drowning, and Hannah's cause of death was just drowning. And even though Lam retracted his initial confession, the discovery of the kids and where they were and the current and the place in which Lam said he committed this crime at, everything added up to the fact that his confession was more than likely true. And plus, on top of that, they had ended up finding witnesses who saw Lam, the van, and the children on the Dauphin Island Bridge at the time in which this crime was believed to have taken place. Everything was adding up to the fact that Lam had done this. And so they ended up charging him with 5 counts of capital murder. And then in February of 2008, when he had his plea hearing, Lam pleaded guilty at first, but then he retracted his guilty plea. And so he would end up going to trial in March of 2009. And it only took 40 minutes for the jurors to find Lam guilty of all 5 of his charges. And they actually ended up voting 12-0 for the death penalty. So with that, Lam was sentenced to death. However, in 2018, his sentence was overturned because it was deemed that it was unconstitutional to execute somebody who had a mental disability, because it was found out that Lam only had an IQ of 51, so they felt like he was too dumb to be executed. But yeah, y'all, that's all I have for today's case. Thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. I actually don't like this lipstick. Okay. It's not even lipstick. I don't like this thing. But we here now. I should have done something brighter. No, just fuck it. Oh well. Okay. This is some itchy ass hair. Oh my gosh. How do I get the itch away? Oh, Jesus. I don't think I've ever had hair that itched me like this. Ow. Oh, that's annoying. But I ain't taking it down though. No ma'am. While at first Lam worked, where he working? At a car wash. He was very much giving P from Baby Boy. He had to ask his girl and her mama for money. Like giving bum. Okay? Now this bridge goes over the Gulf Intercoastal Highway. Not highway, waterway. Now this bridge goes over. And this bridge goes over the